We are live, I believe, on YouTube, and now, watch this. We're gonna go live on Instagram. Should be live on Instagram and YouTube at the same time. What? Can't believe it. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. All right. Seems like we got some people here. Very, very cool. We should be live right now. But you know what? If we're not, it don't matter. Just kidding, it very much does matter. I hope everyone's here. Yeah, seems like we're live. Seems like we're live here. But it seems like we are. Hello! Look, there's people here. Haha, haha. On Instagram and on YouTube. So we're live on Instagram and on YouTube right now. We're here to do a live podcast recording of season 4, episode 4 of The Chosen. So, calm before. So, hello everybody on YouTube. Hello everybody on Instagram. I hope you guys are having a great day. And I'm hearing myself a lot of times right now. So, I'm going to mute that. Great. Looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. What do we think of this episode? By the way, what do we think of episode 3? Because it's. How do I get rid of this one? I don't want that. Perfect. All right. Hello, everybody. Hope your day's going well. My day's going fine. Looks like we got some people here. All right, cool. Hello from South Carolina. Shabbat Shalom. When do you think season 5 will air? I think season 5 will air. Never. No, it's gonna air next year. I think it's gonna air early next year, early 2025. Yeah, that's when I believe that the episodes are gonna air. Why am I hearing myself? Oh, okay, I'm gonna mute this. I happy cried and sad cried a lot in episode 4. Episode 4 had some big emotions. We started with Kaufney, which is a very, very intense scene where, or really, the whole beginning of the episode was intense. But we ended it with some great, great stuff with the with Gaius. Gaius' servant being healed. Gaius was the centurion whose servant was healed. If you don't remember from my interview with the one and only Dallas Jenkins, creator and director of The Chosen, from over a year ago, back last February, he said, Gaius' story will be resolved in season 4, which is great. So we're getting a lot of the resolution of these conflicts here with, we're getting Peter and Matthew are no longer fighting. Hello, episode 3 was a massive gut punch. However, episode 4 was a good follow-up to 3's cliffhanger. And it's really cool because episode 4 is the halfway point of not just season 4, but of the entire show. Like, we are halfway through The Chosen. We are 3.5 seasons in, and we have 3.5 seasons left, which is crazy, and I can't believe it, and it's just amazing, to think about. Actually, it's not, because I don't know what I'm going to do after the show's over with, the rest of my life. I kind of have no purpose without The Chosen, but very excited to think about that. We've come this far. We've come 3.5 seasons, and we still have 3.5 more seasons left, so just super exciting stuff. Whoops. There we go. All right, so hi, hello. We're gonna walk through episode 4 today. This is a live podcast recording, so I don't know how much I'm gonna edit in post, but I'm going to talk about episode 4 with you guys, and you guys can type in the chat, give your thoughts. I'll give mine, and we'll walk through this episode, everything that happened here. I cried episode 4 as well, especially when Gaius said, if you command it, I know it will be done. Yes, Kirk Waller did a fantastic job. He's been with Dallas for most of his career, if you guys saw on the interview and the live stream. He's been in, I believe, he's had a cameo in every Dallas Jenkins project, so that's really cool. And he's a great actor, so he played Gaius very well. his scene with Jesus was really, really cool. I hope in the next episode we get to find out how Atticus got Gaius out of jail. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure it wasn't... The intent maybe wasn't that Atticus specifically got Gaius out of jail. I think the intention might have been just that Gaius was next in command. So he just inherited his position. So, yeah. We can do a little Q&A here for those on Instagram. Hello to those on Instagram, the 5 of you watching. Yeah, hello everybody. Yep, people just joining. Great. We're going to get started here because obviously we're going to get started. You know what I want to do? We can... streaming in high quality right now. Okay. My settings might be flipping out a little bit because they're like, whoa, we're streaming. But yeah. So I don't think the intention was... I think Gaius was really just next in command. That's my thoughts. But, you know, I didn't make it. So great. We're going to go ahead and get started diving into this episode here. I've got my notes on episode 4 that I took in the theater. So we can go ahead and start walking through my thoughts on this episode. And please, as we're walking through these topics, feel free to, in the chat, share your thoughts on Season 4, Episode 4, Calm Before. Now, I gotta find my notes here. Season 4, Episodes 1 and 2. 4 from here. Season 4, Episode 4, whatever. Episode 3, Season 4, Episodes 4 through 6. Great. So, we're just gonna get started here with the podcast part of this because that's what this is mainly for. Now, again, I'm still new to live streaming, but I've been told to be more confident in myself, so I believe it's going great thus far. Yeah, it shocked him. Hello, Han, says someone on Instagram. And Debbie627 says, yeah, it shocked him. Yes, it shocked everyone. I cheered for several moments when Gaius was made praetor. Yes, that was a good scene. And it was good. I mean, it was good the way this whole episode played out. Hello, if you're watching on Instagram, if you're watching on YouTube, type I in the chat, all that great stuff. We can get started pretty soon here. So yes, we didn't get to chat live. I didn't get to chat live with all of you about episode 3, but I think we kind of chatted pretty nicely on my top 5 things you missed video from season 4, episode 3. So if you check that out, that'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, again, if you're wondering why I'm missing content for season 4 for the first 3 episodes, it's because I posted it back in February when it was in theaters. So go check out some of my old videos. I made some content about that. But yes, thank you everybody for joining, and we're gonna get started. Got my chosen tumbler here for those of you who noticed. You can get one yourself at the www.thechosengifts.com. Very good. All right, let's get started here. So, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Against the Current, The Chosen podcast, the biggest podcast about the Chosen TV series. And today, we're talking about my review of The Chosen Season 4, Episode 4, Calm Before, and we're going to get right into it. So, at the beginning of this episode, I believe this is one of, but actually not one of, the longest cold open that The Chosen has had in the entire show, where we get kind of differing people's encounters after the aftermath of the big event from Season 4, Episode 3, where Rema was stabbed in the stomach by Quintus. We get different people's, kind of encounters of the day after. It's kind of unclear, actually, how much time passes after Rema was dead and when the disciples are on the road to Taldor to go give Rema's body to her father, Kaphne, which was in a very tense scene. But we start with the aftermath for the Roman party. Sorry, I had to lower my chair. My bad. We start with the encounter with the Roman party, which is Quintus being arrested and his position reduced. And it's unclear. We actually don't hear what Quintus's new position is. It says that his fate is to be decided in court. So therefore, we don't learn where Quintus goes or what his new position is, what his new job is. Hello, millennials for the Chosen on Instagram, by the way. Yeah, we don't learn what his new position is, which is interesting. That's withheld from us. So maybe Quintus will pop back up later in the show, but we just don't know. I don't believe that he will. What? Whoa, wait a minute. Watch this. Boom. Hey, Eli, Millennials for the Chosen on Instagram. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. Yeah. Cool. Did you see that, guys? I put a comment on the screen. There's a delay on Roku for my chat. Let's talk about this comment. Joy's performance in the beginning and the episode made me cry, especially when he ran into Jesus' arms. Yes, that was a very important moment, and that was a big moment for Thomas, I believe, because I know some people were disappointed when Thomas did not get an embrace from Jesus in the end of episode 3 when Rayma was dying and he did not heal Rayma. People were like, why didn't Thomas get a hug from Jesus? Jesus just stood there. But as Dallas explained, that's not what Thomas would have wanted in that moment. So Judith Dunn thinks that Gaius, or I believe Quintus, is going to be the centurion that accepts Jesus Christ at the time of the crucifixion. I don't think so. Okay, no, I said that wrong. I personally don't believe that that's where they're going with that. I really don't. I don't think that Quintus is going to accept Jesus. I don't think that doesn't seem to me like that's where they would go with that. I think that Quintus would be more resentful towards Jesus. But that's the good thing about theorizing is that anybody can put in their guesses and nobody's really right or wrong. We're all just guessing. I personally wouldn't see them going in that direction. But, we do need to keep our eye on things like that. Obviously, the person who says, truly this man was the Son of God is going to be someone that we know, right? It's going to be a familiar face. So, I wouldn't... Oh, I think the relay to the Roku's right lagging. Okay, great. Nothing to do with me. Ha! That's perfect. No problem on my end. Hello, everybody. Great. So, let's get back to the episode. Right. So we get this kind of montage of the disciple. By the way, is Hard-Boiled Entertainment here? I always lose my train of thought and switch to something else. My bad. Hard-Boiled Entertainment is not here. I'm really glad Big James and John mended their relationship in the last episode. I hope they didn't strain their relationship with Jesus by asking him if they could sit at his right and left hands. Yeah, that was really interesting. Glad they mended. I didn't really like. Okay, I didn't love the conflict between James and John from season 3, where like James came back with Thomas and Big James was just like jealous of him. I didn't love it. I was like, I didn't understand. I just didn't understand the purpose of it. I think the lesson that we got in the end of it was fine to hear, and I'm glad that we got it. It was interesting and it was cool and I enjoyed it, but to me it was like, just why do we have to do this? Like, it was like, it didn't seem like it was that big of like something that needed to be like, I'm like, we have bigger things going on, kind of, you know what I mean? Like we have, no, well, like, sorry. I'm like, we have other things going on besides, it just didn't seem like, I don't know. The Chosen usually has these like real, super insightful conflicts that really make you think about stuff, and that just was one that was like, I was like, that seems subpar for a Chosen conflict. But, I think that the conversation that they had where Big James was saying, you need to be there for Thomas and apologizing for being jealous, I think that conversation was interesting. But I didn't think the storyline was, like, I don't know. I just didn't love that being included in there. Especially because I have a brother, right? And I was like... Because here's the thing. I have a brother, and I was picturing myself and my brother, in that storyline. I was like, how would we react, or is this something we would go through or have been through? And it just didn't resonate with me all that well. But I didn't mind it. It's not like I'm disliking it, but whatever, doesn't matter. So we get kind of a different sequence of events in this episode where we're seeing, it's cool. It's a cool way for the Chosen to kind of mix up the sequence of events here, where we don't just have a linear storyline told in the third-person perspective of just watching people do things and watching the story progress, beat by beat in sequential order, all at the same time. It just wasn't like... It's a cool way to mix up the sequence of events to where now in the episode we get different disciples' point of views from different parts of the day, that happened at different points in time. we see the disciples all walking on the road, and we flash back to Thomas earlier, and then we flash back to Peter's perspective of helping Thomas, and then we flash back to James and John and Peter after. I believe that the sequence of James, John, and Peter is after they've even delivered Rama's body to Cophny, or maybe it's directly the day after Rama's death happened. But just kind of mixing up the sequence of events here, where we show different scenes happening that didn't take place all, one after the other. It's a cool way to mix it up, and I've seen TV shows do this before. So when The Chosen included this, sequence of events mix-up, it was a cool creative choice, kind of, showing different points of view from different points in time. It was really cool. I enjoyed the cold open, which again was one of the longest of the entire show. It's the longest. It goes on for like 7 minutes. It's like almost 10 minutes long, just the opening part before we even see the intro, the first opening credits. So, very, very cool. I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed the cold open. This is probably one of my favorite cold opens of the show. But we're really feeling the sadness. It's cool to see, Peter talking to Jesus and being like, I don't know if I can really step up for Thomas and be a leader here. I don't know what I'm doing. And Jesus saying, comforting him. That scene, very, very cool. I actually really enjoyed that, watching Peter and all that. Just cool stuff. The intro was cool. And how Peter comforts Thomas in the end. I just really enjoyed that scene. So, then we get the intro. And then we get the disciples marching to Taldor, right? And this is where we get the confrontation with Cophny, which was very intense and super just like I loved that this scene. As soon as the character said, "We're heading to Taldor," we're gonna deliver her body to Cophny, which makes sense because he's her father, and now they have to go and deliver the body of his daughter, who went off with this dude who she wanted to marry without his permission, while they were following a guy who he didn't believe in. Just that scene, you knew it was going to be very tense. And the actor of Rama's father, Cophny, does a fantastic job. He did a great job in this episode. Just being very angry at Jesus, and that whole scene where Thomas and Jesus are confronting Cophny. Very, very cool. Very well done. And then Cophny takes Rama away, and he says, "I will rest at nothing to expose you, Jesus of Nazareth." He says, "I will move mountains," which is a reference to how Jesus says, you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. But the irony here is that Cophny has no faith. So very interesting thing. I thought maybe the opening song wasn't going to play because of how long the cold open was. Yeah, I agree. I almost thought that too. I was like, are we not going to get the intro when it happened? I actually forgot about it. But who do we think Cophny is going to be, by the way? It hit me. I think someone said it in the live chat while the episode was live. Someone said they think he's going to be one of the people, like the witnesses who testifies against Jesus at the trial, when Jesus is on trial before, the high priest and the Pharisees. I thought that was a liable theory, that he would be at Jesus' trial. I think that's a good theory. So, and it would make sense because they didn't really have any reliable witnesses, but which is actually where it gets complicated with the Rama thing. Because then Cophny has a thing to use against Jesus, which he didn't really have any part in, but I could see how they would use that to their advantage and use that to be a part of that whole scene that goes down in season 6. But very, very cool. Yes, screaming, "Crucify him." Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, that's a good point. He's probably going to be one of the people screaming, "Crucify him." That's a great point, actually. Yeah. I was thinking that Cophny will be one of the witnesses at Jesus' trial. Yes, exactly. I agree. Maybe that's what they're leading with that. I wouldn't be surprised. That seems like it makes a lot of sense. So, then they deliver Cophny, and Thomas is now forbidden to enter this town. So he's forbidden to enter Taldor. I'm sure he's very sad about that. He can't even, be with his wife's body or that kind of thing. She's just been taken away. So then we get this montage, which is very interesting. I love this montage. Let's talk about it. And let's go through the scripture here because there's a lot of scripture. There's a lot of scriptural references in this montage here. So we're just going to watch this, everybody. Oh wait, we gotta talk about scripture earlier. So in the scene, let's go back. See, I'm off my rocker because I'm live. in the scene where James, John, and Big James are talking about and reasonably asking the question of, well, Jesus raised Jairus' daughter from the dead. Why can't he have raised Ramah? We're kind of continuing this question of Jesus definitely has the power to heal. Jesus definitely has the power to save people and heal people and do anything because he's God. So therefore, why does he allow suffering? And I mean, it's a very liable question. And so they're literally asking this about this event that the three of them saw and were told not to tell anyone about, where Jesus heals Jairus' daughter. And Peter quotes a passage, which we're going to look at right here. Peter quotes a passage, Isaiah 55, starting in verse 8. Peter quotes, I don't know if people on the Instagram can see this, but it's totally cool. Peter quotes, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts." This comes from Isaiah 55, where Jesus, or the God, is saying, "Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters, and you have no money, come buy and eat. And see, I have made him, I will make an everlasting covenant with you to my faithful love promised to David. So you have made him a witness to the peoples, and a ruler and a commander of the peoples. Surely you will summon nations you know not, nations you know come to the Lord. Seek the Lord, may he be found, call on him while he is near." So he's just giving a, invitation to Israel, invitation to the thirsty to serve the Lord, which is a cool passage that they quoted here, and it makes a lot of sense, so very cool. I enjoyed that little reference there. So he quotes that passage. That's in that part of the story, which was a great scene where Peter, James, and John are all discussing kind of what they just saw and why Jesus didn't heal Ramah. Even though he's healed before and he's raised from the dead before, why didn't he do that? Very reasonable question from Jesus' disciples. They are not always insufferable, weirdos. I don't know. All right, I'd like to move this. All right, perfect. Okay, good. It would have been nice to see how Simon and Eden coped with the loss of their baby. It would have helped considering Simon was trying to be emotionally there for Thomas during his time of need. I agree. I think Simon and Eden coping with the loss of their... Oh, you mean after the walking on water? Because there was that scene at the end of season 3, episode 6. Let's see, family. Hello, Ellie. Welcome to the stream. There was that scene at the end of season 3, episode 6, where Peter and Eden kind of hugged each other and sat on the floor. I think that was maybe alluding to them coping with the loss of their baby. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, I agree. It would have been nice to see. I mean, Simon mentions it. He mentions that he's not sure why Jesus allowed Eden's baby to die. That kind of thing. So it is there. I mean, I think they allude to it. It is there. So. All right. Yep, got it. Cool. I almost had to sneeze or whatever, but it's cool. So yeah, nope. So we get this montage of Jesus and the disciples. Jesus goes out and heals. There's a scene of Jesus walking with the disciples, and there's a bunch of people following him. I believe this is a reference to what the scene that we see in John 6, verse 60. Or, kind of, I wanted to see this in The Chosen. I always wondered why they didn't do it. I was always like, where is this scene? I don't understand. So, it was kind of cool that they kind of alluded to it, at least. I believe this is what they were alluding to. We find this passage in John 6, so let me show it to you guys. Right here. I'm going to do this, and boom. So this is John 6. This is after Jesus gives a particularly controversial message here in John 6. Jesus is the bread of life, where he asserts that he's God, basically, and he, says a lot of stuff that's very controversial. Very truly, I tell you, you were looking for me, not because you saw the signs I performed, because you ate the loaves and had your fill. Do not work for the food that spoils, but for the food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. For on him God the Father has placed his seal of approval. So in The Chosen Season 4, in this montage that we get of Jesus and the disciples. So after Ramah's death and after they deliver the body to Cophni, we obviously get a time jump of a few months here, an extended period of time where Jesus just goes and is healing and preaching, and Thomas is not having it. But Jesus, after this particularly controversial message, on hearing it, starting in John 6, verse 60, on hearing it, many of his disciples said, "This is a hard teaching. Who can accept it?" Aware that his disciples were grumbling about this, Jesus said to them, "Does this offend you? Then what if you see the Son of Man ascend to where he was before? The Spirit gives life, the flesh counts for nothing. The words I have spoken to you, they are full of the Spirit and life. Yet there are some of you who do not believe." For Jesus had known from the beginning which of them did not believe and who would betray him. He went on to say, "This is why I told you that no one can come to me unless the Father has enabled them." From this time, many of his disciples turned back and no longer followed him. You do not want to leave too, do you?" Jesus asked the 12. Simon Peter answered him, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and to know that you are the Holy One of God." Then Jesus replied, and listen to this. "Have I not chosen you, the 12? Yet one of you is a devil." He meant Judas. Okay, great. So what Jesus is referring to here, this is part of the fact that there were many other disciples who followed Jesus, right? There were a lot of other disciples besides the 12. As we mentioned here, he sent away many of them. We don't know how many that is, but he sent away many disciples. And he sent away many. We don't know how many that is, but he said to the 12, "Do you also want to leave?" And they said, "To whom shall we go?" But in this scene where Jesus is walking with all of these many people who are obviously disciples, I believe that that's a reference to the fact that there were all of these other disciples with him. Yeah. So, hello. Hello, guys. Here, hold on. This is my buddy. Noah. Here, Noah Lozano on Instagram. Everybody say hello to Noah. He's watching. This is someone who knows me in real life. So, say hello to Noah. He's watching the stream too. Let's see here. Oh, Cam Nielsen. Hello. Howdy, guys. I was talking to a friend who finally had time to watch season 4, episode 1, and she was like, "It had me in tears." I was slightly like, "Haha, you're gonna cry a lot more." Yes. Okay. So Cam Nielsen says, "You might empathize and or appreciate the John Tosh James thing as you get older." All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Kim Smith says, "Hi, Eli. NM in the house." All right. Now, I failed geography. So, NM is New Mexico. I got it. I'm pretty sure I got it. Anyway. Cool. So this is a reference to the many disciples that were following Jesus. We've already seen this portrayed in The Chosen, which is with the fact that we have Tamar following Jesus, or that we had Ramah following Jesus, right? Like there were other people besides the 12. We know this. We know this from history. We've had mention of other people who followed Jesus in the Gospels. So just kind of reference to that. But I've always wanted to see that scene. That was always so interesting to me. That was one of the first ones that I thought about when even The Chosen first started, which was that Jesus sends away these 12. He said, or not these 12. He sends away more than the 12. And even when The Chosen first started, I was thinking about this idea of, whoa, there's more to the life of Jesus than we see portrayed in the Gospels. And that scene where he sends away those many people, that was one that stuck out to me as like, wow, that's interesting that there were a lot more people following Jesus than just the 12. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what Shmuel has been up to since the first time we saw him and the prayer he had with Jesus off screen. Yes, it is going to be interesting. Just kidding, no spoilers. I won't give you any. Never mind. Is it just me, or is the timeline really confusing? It's not just you. I was watching by the way, Cam Nielsen, thank you for joining the chat. I just want to say that. Thank you, Kim Smith. Dream of a dream. Shout out to everyone in the chat. It is New Mexico. Great. Awesome. My geography teacher, a.k.a. my parents, I was homeschooled, will be happy. I was watching episode 3, and I was under the impression that it happened in early 32 or late 31 AD, but then episode 4 says it's 30 AD. So, it's believed that Jesus was born in, like, it's believed Jesus was born in, like, 4 BC. Don't know if you know that. Um, so 30 AD is the year. Okay, so he was born in like 4 BC, and 30 AD is probably the year that he dies. I believe he's crucified. He was 33 years old when he was crucified. So the time jump says that it's 30 AD, and this is the year that this is not long before he's crucified, because after this we get into the events such as Lazarus, which is very close to when he is crucified, very close to Passover week, which is the week that he was crucified. So it's 30 AD but I will agree with you that the timeline is confusing. It is very confusing. This episode had a montage that had a time jump that took up over a course of, we don't know how long. It's very unclear how long this time jump was, but we see some miracles that Jesus does in the Bible, such as he heals a blind man, who was introduced in season 1, by the way. This character was in Capernaum, and we saw him just like in a brief scene. He was, begging and asking for money or for people to help him. So that makes sense since Holy Week is season 5. Yes, Neko Hime. Yeah, that makes sense since Holy Week is season 5. Yes, season 5 we're very close to season 5 right now. As of the point we are at the end of episode 4, we are about to get into Holy Week. We're very close to that, and as we get into like episodes 5, 6, 7, 8, it's gonna seem like, wow, we're already here. That's what it seemed like to all of us who saw it in theaters. We were like, whoa, it's already here. It doesn't seem like it's been that long. And we get references to like Peter and Matthew when they got resolved, right, in season 4, episode 2, when they forgave each other and made up. They make reference to the fact, I believe, that it's been years. And it does not feel like it's been years that they've been together. Brandon's talked about this, how messy the timeline is. I made a reference to Brandon. The Chosen Sleuth, who I'm sure most of you watch, he did a great video like a year ago about the timeline of The Chosen. He really did an in-depth study into, how the timeline of The Chosen is pretty confusing, which it is. So, yes, I totally agree. The bread of life is true. Jesus didn't clarify. He doubled down. Is transubordination. Thank you, Regina MMP62. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so I agree. The timeline is confusing, but it's supposed to be 30 AD. I hope that answers your question, Ellie. Ellie B, I hope that that clears it up for you. Yes. Yes is my filler word, by the way, when I don't know what else to say. All right, so yeah, we get this. So also in this montage, like I said, we get the blind man being healed from season 1, and so it's the month of Kislev. That's what we get. So when we get Jesus preaching, we get Kaphne, spreading the word that he doesn't like Jesus. So very, very cool, very good stuff. This montage was cool, and it passes a good bit of time. How old do I think the apostles were? Well, thank you so much. How old do I think the apostles were? Definitely young men. I mean, definitely, maybe even a little younger than they are in The Chosen. In The Chosen, they're obviously like adults. They could have been. They're probably just like possibly teenagers. They were definitely very young. I will say that. I don't really need these headphones. We're not watching anything, so that's cool. Yeah. How many people we got here? Whoa. Yeah. All right, so after this montage, we get the scene of the disciples all sitting in Simon's house, and they're eating a meal. It says the month of Kislev, and obviously a good amount of time has passed since the last time we saw these guys before the montage where they dropped off Rainbow's body with Kaphne and all of that stuff that went down with Rainbow's death. Dream of a dream, sorry. My favorite miracle was when Jesus healed Shula's blindness. That was a great scene. She's referring to, for everyone who doesn't know, season 3, episode 6, when Jesus, or Barnaby, after show on the Chosen app. The after show. Wait. Okay, How did I miss that? Sorry. Virginia Fields says the after show on the Chosen app explained the time jump. Kind of exposed me, because I will definitely go check that out. We will check that out. Do you have any idea when in the after show it is? Because we might even get to look at it. I would be totally willing to do that. If you have any idea where it is in the after show, that'd be great. We could possibly even take a look at that. But yeah, cool. Thanks for letting me know, Virginia Fields. Shout out to you, and thank you for commenting. We'll definitely look into that, because we need answers on this. The timeline can get very confusing. So yes. And then we kind of see also as a part of this montage, Gaius is given a letter, possibly about details about the Jesus, or the pilgrim surrounding him, and he burns it. So Gaius is on Team Jesus. Like I say, he's on Team Jesus at this point, and he's helping Jesus and the disciples. So then we get to the month of Kislev, and it's been a few months. They mentioned that it's been a few months in this conversation, and Thomas does prayers. He says he still prays, but it's hard to mean them. There's no place. Thomas says there's no place he'd rather be. And then Eden gets some ingredients, and Matthew wonders how to eat a pomegranate. And Philip kind of teaches him. And then we get another little interesting detail here, because in the Gospels we get that Simon Bar Jonah, that's his name, right? I talked to the writers. That was my favorite scene as well. This is behind the scenes on that. Makes it all the better. So they talk to the writers. Okay, cool. So Thomas gets... Peter is named Simon Bar Jonah in the Gospels, right? So we know his father was named Jonah. And in this scene, we get a little reference where Andrew and Peter are bickering about their father. They make reference to the fact that Andrew says they did their best, and Simon says that's debatable, and they're kind of debating about their father here. So me, as a naturally nerdy person who is very obsessive and overly, obsessive about everything, that makes me want to hear more about their father. And I'm hoping that we're going to get more information maybe about their home life or their parents or what The Chosen portrays it as, because they kind of make reference to the fact that their father maybe wasn't around or just wasn't a good father. And we've heard details about their father before. So just that was a little interesting detail to me. And then the disciples are kind of bickering. Peter and Andrew are bickering, and Jesus goes outside to little James and Thaddeus. This is the scene that we got a year ago from the live stream in Brazil. Very cool scene, very touching, where Jesus is kind of acknowledging the reality of him dying. How they're going to Jerusalem, things are going to get real, and little James and Thaddeus are like, we can't stay in Capernaum. They can tell that Jesus is maybe troubled about something, or something's about to happen. There's something on the horizon. And Jesus is upset. And he's not really upset. Jesus says, let no one underestimate your wisdom. And little James says, not really wisdom, a feeling in his gut. And they say, you've been saying things about how when you're gone more frequently. And they say he's suffering many things at the chief priests, and they're not in Capernaum. So Jesus says we'll head towards Jerusalem, and things will no longer be simple. And then he puts his arms around them, and they hug. And then Peter comes out, and is like, "Am I missing something?" Hello, Heather. Heather Blana. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for commenting. You can't really see it on Instagram, but I just put your comment on the screen so everybody can see your username. So thank you so much for joining the stream today. Thanks for coming out. What's everybody talking about in the chat? Everybody's just talking about themselves. Thanks for waiting. Yes, Barnaby and Chulo was a great scene. Sorry if I diminished the importance of that. That was a great scene. I loved it. It was cool. Season 3, Episode 6, at the end when Barnaby asks to be healed, Barnaby asks Chulo to be healed, and surprise, Barnaby is healed also. Great scene, super heartwarming and touching, especially after that. Episode 6 was a hard episode, I believe. There was a hard part in that. Yes. So then Peter comes out, and he's like, am I interrupting something? And he catches them. And then he brings them lemons and is like, just what happened? And then a Roman soldier shows up and asks for Matthew. And then Peter's wondering if they're going to bring Matthew back for tax collecting. And then it turns out that Praetor Gaius is asking for Matthew. This scene is really cool, where Peter and Matthew, who are now best buds because they made up in Season 4, Episode 2, Peter decides to accompany Matthew to go talk to Gaius because Peter has also spent time with Gaius, and Peter knows about Gaius' servant who is sick, well, we know where that's going, but that was just so cool to see the progression of this kind of relationship, where we have Matthew served as a tax collector for years, and Gaius was right there with him, and then Peter kind of saw a little insight into Gaius' life with his son, his servant, who's his not legitimate son, and Peter, saw that, and Gaius explained that to him. So now Peter and Gaius have a relationship, and now finally Peter and Matthew have made up. So now they both are friends with each other, and both are separately have a relationship with Gaius as well. So just cool, just the intricacies of these relationships, how people connect, how people interact with each other on The Chosen, how different people relate to each other. It is really, really cool stuff, just how every person has a distinct, different relationship with everybody else. This is just great storytelling, great television, great entertainment. It's really cool the way this all ties together. Yes, everybody's still talking about Barnaby. Great. By the way, if you could leave a like if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get some, let YouTube know that you love the video. Barnaby and Shula, best duo. I'd like to see. So Kim Smith says, I'd like to see Barnaby and Shula get married. Virginia Fields. Dallas also said that we may be getting a backstory on Thaddeus and Little James. I know that we're going to get that in Season 5. Yes. So there was a behind-the-scenes video that was posted not too long ago where it looks like we're getting... if you don't remember, in Season 1, Episode 5, Jesus and Thaddeus are talking, and Thaddeus mentions that he met Jesus. They were building a bathroom. So in Season 5, in one of the behind-the-scenes videos, we got what looks to be a first-century bathroom. So it seems that we're going to get a flashback to Thaddeus meeting Jesus, at least. So when Dallas kind of dodged that question, I was really pleased to see that, because it's confirmation that that's basically what that is. And that's what that is that we're going to get in Season 5 a flashback to Thaddeus meeting Jesus, which is exciting. That's like we get to see the early days of Jesus calling people, because Thaddeus and Little James, as portrayed in The Chosen, were the first two to be called. So that's exciting. I'm really excited to see that. And yes, so I can confirm for you, I'll do a video about it soon, but I can confirm from you that we are going to get Thaddeus and Little James' backstory in The Chosen. I love that Matthew and Simon Peter are now BFFs. Kim Smith, I agree. LEB says, Peter Matthew is a big brother who bullies his little brother, but would die for him without hesitation. Totally agree. Love their relationship. And so kind of we get this walk and talk with Peter and Matthew as they're going to see Gaius. And Andrew asks if Matthew... So Peter gets annoyed at Matthew for fidgeting with his little handkerchief. And Matthew says, why do people do that? Why do people say it's nothing when something definitely means something? And then Peter says, it just means it's something that you don't need to worry about. So then Gaius comes in, and Peter and Matthew sit down. And Gaius is just telling them that Jesus needs to keep a low profile. He needs to if he's going to do something, do it outside of the city. He's warning them because Gaius says that he believes in Jesus, as it slips out in this conversation. And so then Peter and Matthew are like, wait, you believe in Jesus? And Matthew asks if his son, or Peter asks if his son gotten any better, and Matthew asks if there's something wrong with Marius. And Gaius kind of explains the illegitimacy of his child and how he's dying and he needs Jesus. And this is the way that whole scene played out. Was really cool. That conversation between Gaius, Peter, and Matthew, how they're all bouncing off of each other. Paris, Shahar, Kirk, great actors in this scene together, where they're kind of, as we get kind of the unraveling of what's happening here, why Gaius called Peter and Matthew there, as he starts with saying, hey, tell Jesus to keep a low profile because I'm doing my best for him, but I don't want to get in trouble. And just kind of Peter and Matthew, there's a little bit of hostility because he's a Roman, and he's just been kind of observing this Jewish culture for his whole life. He's kind of an outsider in the Jewish culture, but he's still been observing it. The way that kind of the unraveling of Peter and Matthew realize he's actually asking, he believes in Jesus, and he believes that Jesus can heal his son. Really, really cool scene. Love the way it plays out, and I love Gaius' character here. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. Some of us since season 1. Like, in season 1, people were like, whoa, Gaius is going to be that centurion whose servant is healed. So we've been kind of guessing it for a while. Again, on my interview last year with the director, Dallas, he confirmed that it's going to happen. So, very, very cool. Very exciting. So, this scene is very cool. Oh, yeah, Virginia Fields says, I loved when the first thing Gaius did when he got home was blow out the idol candles. Yes. Very, very cool detail. I love that too. Dream of a dream. Gaius is so amazing. I loved how he called Jesus Lord. It completely baffled Nathaniel. Yeah. Yeah, so when we get this next scene where yeah. So when we get to the end of the scene and Gaius says, well, why are we just standing here? My son is as good as healed. Great scene. I think all of us felt a little sigh of relief there as well. It's great the contrast between last episode where, the big event happened, the super big thing that was so surprising and so dreadful, and left all of us, questioning whether or not to go on and wake up tomorrow. To then get this episode, which is filled with happy moments and just the satisfaction of seeing Gaius, come to Jesus. Very, very cool. And very smart, the way that they decided to end and complete this story. It was really, really cool. So, you could see in Gaius' wife's eyes that she put two to two and two. You could see in Gaius' wife's eyes that she put two and two together and realized what happened. Yes. I agree. Sorry. All right. So then Gaius comes to... And Gaius kneels and said, Lord, my servant is suffering terribly. He said, Lord, you're not worthy to be in my house, but only say the word and he will be healed. I know you can do it. And Peter says, he is worthy. He's loved our people and helped us. He says, you can heal him with only your word. He says, anything you command in this world will happen. So, awesome performance by Kirk. Great scene. Love it. And this comes from, I believe it's Matthew 8 and Luke 7. So let's go ahead and look at those. Because let's look at the scripture here. That's what we're here for anyway, right? Let's do it. Go look at the scripture. Yes. So, faith of the centurion. This is from Matthew 8, verse 5. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home, paralyzed, suffering terribly. Jesus said to him, shall I come and heal him? The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go. And this is what we heard in the Chosen episode. We heard this exact thing, which, interesting, that's recorded in the book of Matthew. Interesting, one of those little chosen anecdotes to where it's like saying, why would this matter to this particular gospel writer? And Matthew was Gaius' friend, so it's in the book of Matthew. Very cool detail. Lord, I do not deserve to have you in my roof. Just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For myself, I am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed, and said to those following him, truly, truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel who had such great faith. I say to you that many will come from the east and west, and will take their places in the feast of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown aside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then Jesus said to the centurion, go, let it be done just as you believed it would. And his servant was healed at that moment. So cool. Such a great scene, and I just love the way it's portrayed in The Chosen. But I believe the other reference was Luke 7. When Jesus is saying, okay, let me start over. When Jesus had finished saying all this to the people who were listening, he entered Capernaum. There, a centurion's servant, whom his master valued highly, was sick and about to die. The centurion heard of Jesus and sent some elders of the Jews to him, asking him to come and heal his servant. When they came to Jesus, they pleaded earnestly with him, "This man deserves to have you do this." So the elders in this scene, elders of the Jews usually refers to, I believe, Pharisees or religious leaders, but in the Chosen, they give this line to Peter, where he says, "This man deserves to have you do this because he loves our nation and has built our synagogue." So Jesus went with them. He was not far from the house when the centurion sent friends to say to him, "Lord, don't trouble yourself, for I don't deserve to have you under my roof. That is why I did not even consider myself worthy to come to you. But say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it." When Jesus heard this, he was amazed at him, and turning to the crowd following him, he said, "I tell you, I have not found such great faith even in Israel." Then the man who had been sent returned to the house and found the servant well. Beautiful. Nope. So, yes, this scene was awesome in The Chosen. It was very, very, very well done. Just the little details, of Peter saying, "This man deserves to have this done for him. He loves our people." It just gets you to read your Bible and go, why? Why did he love our people? Or why did people say that? Oops. Wait a minute. I have to turn my other self off. There's two of me. That's embarrassing. Whoops. I don't know where everything just went. It's okay. Sorry. I know. One of me is enough. Two of me. Crazy. My big sister said during that scene, said, "Can we keep him?" Listening to the interview with Jonathan and Kirk gave additional insight into those scenes. Yes. The interview with Jonathan and Kirk. The after show. Oh, I gotta watch the after show. I haven't watched it yet. Gaius' generosity in the market to the vendors as he overpaid for things he purchased was almost like an offering for the healing of his son. Yes, I noticed that too. Hello, Carol McDowell. Everybody say hello to her. Carol McDowell is, yet again, the organizer of the Demetrius Troy fan page, who we're going to see next episode, Season 4, Episode 5. So everybody say hello to Carol. Shout out to her. Super fun person, and runs a super fun fan page. I hadn't thought of it that way. Excellent comparison. Yes, very, very cool insight, Carol. Nice job. Do you think we'll ever see Tamar's brother, if I'm remembering correctly? She never mentioned him being dead. Interesting. I don't know. That's a good question. And we're seeing Judas' sister return in Season 4, I know from behind the scenes. So, Regina. Regina, were you on Instagram? Oh, we got an Instagram comment. Red alert. The Chosen Films is here on Instagram. So, hey. Sorry, I missed a few of these. I'm a super big fan. Chosen Films, I'm a super big fan. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody who's here, by the way. Thank you so much for joining. It means a lot, when you say you're a big fan, that kind of thing. Awesome. Hello. Nice to see you here. Glad that you could make it. We might just make the size of these things smaller so we can put them in the center. Are you going to ChosenCon? Ooh, that's a good question. Yes, I am. I am going to ChosenCon. It's going to be very fun. Can't wait to see all of you there. It's going to be a great time. Chosen Films, were you at the first ChosenCon? That's my question. I am very excited to see everybody. It's going to be an amazing time. It's really going to be super duper awesome. This year it's going to be much bigger than last year. It's going to be epic. First ChosenCon, such a great time. Had so much fun meeting some of you and getting to talk with you guys and everyone, those of you who came up to me at the con. Super awesome. And to meet, the fellow Chosen content creators, all that kind of thing. Awesome. Cannot wait for a ChosenCon 2024. And it's in my hometown, everybody. Right here in Florida, South Florida, in Orlando, in the Marriott World Conference Center. Super awesome. Hey, man. I am excited about that. That's going to be fun. I'd say it's a 2.5-hour drive away from me, so you better believe I'm going to be there at ChosenCon. If you can't tell my glorious, luxurious golden brown tan is because I live in South Florida. So, yes, very excited. Hope that all of you can make it because I want to meet all of you. Hello, Chosen Films says, I hope I get to meet you. I was not at the first one. This is my first one. Yes. I hope I get to meet you too. Yeah, I'm so excited. If you see me there, stop me and say, hello, I'm the Chosen Films, and we can. That's awesome. Can't wait to meet you as well. It's gonna be very exciting. Let's see. What's this one? Oh, this is a long message. On the way to see his healed son, he was buying fruit and toys, and he was paying the merchants, and the merchants were shocked that centurion was paying and tipping. I thought that was cool. Yes, very cool scene. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to cry when I meet Jonathan. Me too. Yeah, no, Jonathan's awesome. I really hope you get to meet him. I hope everybody gets to meet him because he's a great guy. So, yeah, I bet you will. I mean, yeah, I know people, that when they see him, it's a cool thing. He's a very nice person, super awesome. I love Jonathan. Excited about Con. Yes, Carol McDowell. I'm excited about Chosen Con. It's gonna be a great time. But yeah, so we're talking about Gaius. And then yes, that's what people are talking about on the way back to his house, where he knows that his servant is healed. He's tipping people and he's paying more than he needs to, and it's just a great scene. Really cool. I really wanted to go, but it was just way too far away and a bit expensive for 5 people to travel all the way there and buy tickets. LEB, LEB, I really want to go. You have 5 people in your family? Wow. Your parents' hair is very gray. That's sad. That's sad you weren't able to go. I feel so sorry. I wish you could come. You should come to some. You should try to come to some chosen event because they're all worth it. Trust me. If you can save up the money, I understand 5 people. Wow, that's a lot of people. The upcoming Bible weekend is Chosen Con. You're referring to Chosen Con. Is $1,200 per person. Can someone tell me how much Con is? Oh, so Kim Smith is referring to the Camp Hoblitzell retreat that the Chosen is doing, which is like summer camp for a weekend. Very excited about that. Yeah, those tickets are expensive, and to me that's a flight to Dallas. And I was like, I would love to go, and I actually haven't set foot on the Chosen Capernaum set yet. I've been to the Utah one, and I've been to the field outside of the Capernaum one, but I haven't set foot in there. So I actually wanted to go to that, but that was like, I was like, I'll think about it. So we'll see how things go, but I don't know. The Chosen Films on Instagram. I'm literally such a big fan. You're literally my idol. And what I'm assuming you're repeating is what you're going to say to Jonathan, not me, right? Right? Because, but thank you so much. Nope. I was really hoping for 2025 Con if they do have 2025. Oh, LEB, I think they're going to do it every year until Season 7 is over. Yeah. The con is about the same as the Bible weekend, I think. The con is also quite pricey. Chosen Con. Yeah, I believe it's about that much. No, the con is like, Kim Smith, the con is like $500, I believe. So not as expensive as the weekend, but... Chosen Film says, are you going to the dinner party on Friday at Chosen Con? I'm going to the dinner on Saturday, I believe. Me and my dad are going to the dinner on Saturday. I don't think we're doing the one on Friday. So, hope that answers your question. Very excited about that, though. And I don't think we're going to be seeing each other on the dinners. I think the dinners are private, if I am not mistaken. I think it's private with a cast member or something like that. Is it a party? Is there a dinner party? Because that's awesome. I would really hope so. Chosen Films. Are you going to the dinner party? Yep. Saw that one. No, I'm talking about you. You're so amazing. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, The Chosen Films. I would like to see Shula and Barnaby get married. Everybody wants to see Shula and Barnaby get married. Understandable, I guess. I wonder if the guy that was going to have Veronica clean his clothes is going to help Jesus carry his cross. Oh, interesting theory. Virginia Field says, Eli, tell everyone that your followers love them all, for those who can't go. Don't worry, I'm going to be posting lots of content, and you'll feel like you're there, trust me. And Virginia Fields joining the live stream thank you for doing that as well. But yes, I will tell everyone. I will tell far and wide. I will spread over the hills, and over the mountains, and around the mountaintop, and over the bridge, over the river, through the woods. Can't think of any more fairy tale locations. That Virginia Fields specifically loves everyone. That's what I will do. Don't you worry about that. So, yes, we're not done talking about the episode. I get so sidetracked on live streams. I have like ADHD. I live stream ADHD. Or just not enough practice. I should have done the Dallas Chosen Con. Dallas is only a 6-hour drive from me. I've been to 2 Zumba cons in Orlando. And it can be so expensive. ZumbaCon, wow. ZumbaCon. I had no idea that ZumbaCon was a thing. But very cool. That's kind of exciting. It's not kind of exciting. It is exciting. ZumbaCon, sweet. I'm in Florida. Wait, Dreamer of a Dream says, I'm in Florida too. Maybe I'll see you at the con. Dreamer of a Dream, do you have tickets? Because that'd be sick. That's cool. Anyway, yes, I got sidetracked, as I always do. So yes, Chosen Con will be awesome. You know what? Actually, Kim Smith, I'll check right now. Chosen, how do I spell? ChosenCon.com. Yeah. Let's check. Let's check together as a chosen watch group of 30 people. Yeah, let's check it out. We're going to end this soon, by the way, because I don't like going on live streams for long periods of time. Probably because it stressed me out. Yeah, let's check this out. So this is the Chosen Con official page. Buy tickets. Yeah, how much is it? Oh, so like a normal ticket. A normal ticket's like $250, I think. I think that's the like insider like highest ticket is like $450, but a regular ticket I think is like around $200 or $250. Where's the price of this ticket cost? Okay. Yeah, I think it's like $250, which is, fine. And they said it's going to be well worth it, well worth the price. Because other people were like, yeah, that's really pricey, but they said, yeah, it's going to be well worth the price. So I wonder if Barabbas is going to be from Z's former order. Zumba had over 10,000 instructors there, and it was a blast. Pitbull was the Pitbull at... Okay, we're getting off topic with the Zumba con. But Pitbull as the entertainer, pretty crazy. At Zumba con? What? I didn't know this was a thing. Anyway, a teens program at my church was talking about the Maccabees, and my youth pastor said, so either the Greeks of the Maccabees, but the Maccabees then became the Pharisees, so pick your poison. So the Maccabees and the Greeks, that's a story, the fall of the Maccabees and Alexander the Great, that's a story we'll hear in Season 4, Episode 6. Don't tell anyone I told you. That's going to be a fun one. I don't know if you've seen Season 4, Episode 6 yet, LEB, but that's something from the episode. Do you think that Quintus will be on the cross next to Jesus? No. I don't think Quintus is going to be on the cross next to Jesus. You're saying one of the two thieves on the cross? Fun fact, if you haven't seen Dallas's short film that he did for his church, Vertical Church Films, he did a story of the two thieves, and none of them are Roman. So I don't think that Quintus is going to be one of the two thieves on the. Now that you mention it, no. No. Well, maybe. I mean, since he's no. He's still a Roman officer. He just got demoted. Do you think Raymond will return because? Oh, this is a great question. This is a great question. Raymond will return because of Matthew 27:52. Yeah, great question. Let's look at it. What'd you say it was? Sorry. Matthew's 27:52. Matthew 27:52. So for those who don't know what LEB is referring to, 27:52. Let's check it out together. Yeah. So in Matthew 27:52, this is when Jesus is resurrected. Or no, it's when Jesus was crucified. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came all over the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lema Saba, that thing, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of those standing there heard this, they said, he's calling Elijah. Immediately one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled it with, okay, we can skip down. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went to the holy city and appeared to many people. So, LEB is asking if this verse is referring to Rama being resurrected. And I don't think so. I don't think that's what they're doing with that. I remember someone mentioned that in the Chosen Fan Club. They mentioned that verse could be what that is, and I don't think so. I don't think that that's the direction they're going. Yeah. Ellie the after show gives hints. What? Rome had a rule that they could crucify someone of Roman descent. So Quintus being the thief next to Jesus is impossible. Yeah, no, not Quintus. After the after show last night, it was discussed that Quintus was demoted and probably nothing more because he wasn't Roman. Yeah. So I don't think that's where they're going. To answer your question about Matthew 27:52, I don't think that they're going that route where Raymond gets resurrected. That doesn't make sense for the story. That's an interesting verse, and I know that that's one that's like kind of like, what does that mean? I have no idea what that means. But I don't think that doesn't make sense at all in my mind for where they're going with that. That's definitely not, in my opinion, that definitely to me does not look like what they're going. In a future season, we could see Thomas. I don't even think Rama was buried in Jerusalem. So I just don't think it makes sense. In my opinion, it wouldn't make sense for them to do it, but anything's on the table, as always. I hope a future season we get to see Thomas visit Rama wherever her final resting place is, regardless of Kaphne's feelings. Okay, so next scene, I want to talk about, guys. I want to get this done real quick so I can post this podcast, and then we can continue discussing. But we're going to end it soon because we've been going for an hour now. An hour's a good amount of time. I really don't want to go longer than that ever. But yeah, so we get the scene where Gaius' servant is healed, and then okay. Wait, let's see. We got to go to as well this Bible passage here for the next part. Yeah, Mark 10, 35 to 45. Let's check it out. I wonder if we'll ever see Matthew's sister again. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how many other people's siblings we'll see again. But yeah, I was too close to the end of Star Wars. It was too close to the end of Star Wars where all the ghosts show up. If you're referring to Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, then we pretend like that one didn't happen. No. You must be referring to the Return of the Jedi at the end when Obi-Wan, Yoda, Anakin all show up as Force ghosts. I hope that's what you're referring to. Not the Rise of Skywalker. That's a separate topic. Yeah. So let's talk about... So this next scene, we get James and John's request from their mom. Let's turn this on. Which is, as we see in Mark 10, verse 35. This is in two places, as I've talked about before. But in this scene, Mark 10, verse 35. Then James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to him. Teacher, they said, we want you to do for us whatever we ask. What do you want me to do for you? He asked. And they replied, let one of us sit at your right and the other at your left in your glory. You do not know what you are asking, Jesus said. Can you drink the cup I drink or be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with? We can, they answered. Jesus said to them, you will drink the cup I drink and be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with, but to sit at my right or left hand is not for me to grant. These places belong to those for whom they have been prepared. When the 10 heard about this, they became indignant with James and John. Jesus called them together and said, you know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be the slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. So this is part of that monologue that he gives to the disciples after James and John asked to sit at his right and left hand. Yeah, so that's a really, really intense scene, and then The Chosen is portrayed very well, just kind of on the heels of this Gaius thing. And when I first watched it, I didn't really love the placement of it and like the structure of it. I was like, that's kind of weird that we're intercutting James and John asking Jesus to sit at his right and left hand, and him being upset at them while we're watching Gaius be really happy that his servant is being healed. Like I just didn't understand it, but I understand it now in hindsight. Because Jesus he starts feeling the weight of how this is the only option for him. This is what he has to do. He has to be crucified, and he has to go to the chief priests and suffer at the hands of the rulers, and be crucified and rise again in 3 days, because the only way that his disciples and the entire world can understand who he is and what he's here for. It's the only way. If he doesn't, then nobody will understand. So, it's really it's. He healed this Roman soldier's servant, so now's our chance to go ask him. And yeah, so they're very, very cool. And then we see Jesus. He gets upset and he says, "Go on ahead. I'll catch up with you." And Jesus goes and watches Mary, Tamar, and Zebedee pressing oil with stones. And Jesus is watching on, very sad. And Gaius comes to thank Jesus for what he just did for his son. And Gaius sees that Jesus now needs some relief and some help. And he gives him a hug. And as Jesus is watching this incredible symbolism, this scene to end the halfway point of the show. I hope we get to see Lander and again in a future episode from season 3, episode 6. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Where Jesus is watching the olive press, right? And this beautiful, beautiful symbolism. Favorite scenes in the show, in the whole rest of the show, right? Some audio issues should be fixed. When it's good now. All right, cool. What was I saying? Yeah, so When the ominous music started playing, I thought Zebedee was going to crush his foot with the rock. uh, that's funny. Yeah. So yeah, so the symbolism here, as they're pressing the oil, they're squishing out any impurities from it. They're making it refined. This process of olive and olive oil, which is a big thing in the Jewish culture of the first century, and Jesus is washing on. And they place 3 stones on top of each other, and they're using it to purify the oil as Jesus is looking on. The symbolism of the crown of thorns and the crucifixion, so beautifully done, because we all know exactly what's going to happen. And The Chosen uses our knowledge of the story, how we already know everything that's going to happen, and they use it to their advantage to kind of tie in these things that make us go, wow, like that's really, like we know exactly what they're referring to, and we know exactly what it means when they do that. So super awesome scene. And then Gaius comforts Jesus. We're kind of getting this loud, kind of booming, almost like a Christopher Nolan trailer sound effect, as this, reverberating, like, like that kind of thing. And it gets louder as Gaius places his hand on Jesus' head. Kind of a reference to the quote where Jesus says, "The Son of Man has no place to lay his head at night." Beautiful, beautiful symbolism. And this is how we end the episode as Jesus and Gaius hug, because Jesus now needs some relief, and Gaius comforts him as Jesus thinks about the things to come. So, beautiful episode. This is easily one of the best. The symbolism at the end, the happiness of the story of Gaius, the payoff of that storyline that has been happening, for 4 seasons now. The beginning with the grief of Kaphne and the aftermath of Ramah's death. All of it is just perfectly done. Such a great episode. I love every minute of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful episode. Definitely, top 5 chosen episodes for sure. Such a great episode. Column Before is definitely one of the chosen's best. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to stick around for my next episode where I'll be discussing Season 4, Episode 5, Sitting, Serving, Scheming. Be sure to stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in my next episode. Thank you so much for listening. All right, cool. So we recorded the podcast. That'll be a lot of editing because I got distracted. It's okay. Yes, so see, Gaius' smile was withheld in previous seasons. We had never seen him smile before. That's a cool detail. I like the way that's played out. I like that. Bro, Zeb is just gonna end up adopting everyone in the group. I love Zebedee so much. Yes, me too. Is there a YouTube talking to? Is there a YouTube talking to the Jewish rabbi, and Dallas explaining the olive pressing? I don't think so. Oh, there is a YouTube. There is one. Oh, okay. Well then, awesome. Virginia Fields, you are a very helpful resource in all of this. Thank you, The Chosen Films on Instagram. I'm actually working on an edit for you. What? That's awesome. Can't wait to see it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for chatting with me tonight as well as everyone here, all of you on YouTube, all 36 of you who are currently watching. Thank you so much. I will try to get a better structure. I'm still kind of learning this. This is my second live stream on the record. I did one a few years ago, but luckily nobody here was here for that. Very luckily. So we're going to wrap things up here. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for over an hour. It's been like an hour and 20 minutes. That's a long time, and thank you guys so much for sticking around and chatting with me a little bit over here as we discuss. I was like, I got to record my review for Season 4, Episode 4, so why not record it with all of you? And so the podcast quality will probably suffer because I'm distracted and, trying to answer questions and that kind of thing, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm still learning this. I want to do fun things. I want to interact with you guys and get the community together. So, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're watching this after the live stream is over, make sure to catch it next time and maybe turn on notifications so you can stay notified whenever I go live next. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, everybody. Ellie, Virginia, Dreamer of Dreams. I love your channel content. Keep up the good work, Eli. Thank you, Nico. Hime, I am botching your pronunciation. I guarantee it. I'm really bad at it. But thank you so much for commenting and chatting with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support from this community. I appreciate everybody here. I appreciate you guys' comments. Thank you so much, Virginia Fields. You're doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you guys next time, where we'll talk about season 4, episode 5, sitting, serving, scheming. So I'll see you guys in my next live stream.